So with leather jacket cleaning, you can sort of see this has got a lot of ingrained dirt and grime all around the cuff areas here and on the main sort of body and things of the jacket. This just feels like it's had something spilt on it 'cause it's gone very stiff, whereas this is really nice and soft and supple, as you can see, and this is pretty stiff. So we obviously need to work in sections at a time. But the key to sort of cleaning with leather jackets is do not ever dry clean them. Do not ever put them in a washing machine. You have to use a product, and you're going to have to get the item completely soaked and work and scrub in and then allow to dry. So you need to work in panels as you go along, working in full panel sections if you can, and get that really nicely wet, and then very, very gently just brush in. You're not going to scrub very, very hard with this. You're not going to like scrub like this. You're just very, very gently coming over the surface, because what you want to do is you need the cleaner to agitate the dirt and grime that's on the surface, because we need to try to get that broken down so that we can get that removed. You just got to just keep going over. But the key to it with leather cleaning of a jacket is actually getting the panel wet thoroughly and then allowing to naturally dry. Do not ever speed dry any item of leather, no matter whether it's a car seat, jacket, handbag, purse. You do not dry it by force, with air, with like a hairdryer sort of thing. Don't ever use those at all. Always naturally dry. Allow them to hang on a proper hanger so that they're hung properly. Obviously, while they're wet, they can distort, because if you have the hanger in the wrong place, that can distort. So make sure that you get the hanger in there correctly. But the key to this is getting this so it's completely wet, so that you can get all the dirt removed. And you've got to get into all the sort of crevices and the nooks and crannies and things of the jacket itself. But the key to it is to get it so it's wet thoroughly, because if you don't sort of wet an area, you're going to create like a sort of stain tide mark on it. So you just got to make sure that you get that area nice and wet. We're using actually LRC1 leather cleaner to do this. You can use the luxury leather cleaner, or you can use the aniline. And little tips and tricks like this, you've got to try to get into areas like this. So you've got to open those up and get into them to get them nice and wet, so that you can sort of clean inside these for dust, dirt and grime. But pay particular concentration to the cuffs of the jacket, because that's where the majority of the dirt is going to be, is on those cuffs. So just give them a little bit longer scrub on the arm itself, because you've got to get that dirt broken down, because a lot of it's going to be body oil, body fluid oils and grease and grime and stuff like that. So you've got to make sure that you can get that broken down sufficiently to get that removed. And it's going to be a process of going over and doing this 2 or 3 times to this particular jacket to make sure that you can get this worked in. Again, get it nice and wet. And as you can see, we're trying to work in a panel at a time, and then we're going to do the next section of the arm. It's very, very simple. And you just proceed over the whole jacket like that in exactly the same way. You can sort of see here, this has got some pretty bad staining on here as well. We've got to try to get all that removed as well. But it's just a matter of going over the item and giving it a real nice, good, deep clean. Giving it a light brush like this around the stitching areas as well. It's not going to affect the stitching. It's going to help clean the stitching as well, which is really good. But you just got to make sure that we can pay particular attention to these sort of areas. You can sort of see this is quite shiny, so you know that it's got a lot of grease and grime in there. And we've obviously got to do the insides here as well. So again, once that's been allowed to dry, you could then start all over and do it again. But I can tell that this has got like a bit of darkness in here, so we do need to do this once more to try to help get this dirt and grime removed and broken down on this cuff. And then we can proceed to the next sort of panel area. So this is how you would clean a leather jacket. You just got to make sure you got it evenly wet all over the surface, and then let it naturally dry out. With this being a natural product, it contains softness as well. There's LRC1, it'll help soften the jacket, make it soft and supple, and then once that's all done and it's completely dried over, you can proceed to LRC4 leather protection cream, which is going to give it some food, and it's going to give it some protection from stains, dirt build-up, and obviously UV protection as well. So this is exactly how you're going to clean a leather jacket. And we've just used the LRC Tampico brush with the LRC1 leather cleaner. To buy the products, or for any more tips and tricks, head on over to the website leatherrepaircompany.com.